When I first came across Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door on GameCube, aged myself by the way, on GameCube, it was more of a filler game. I played Smash, I think I was going through Mario Sunshine, Mario Party, Mario Kart, and there's a few other games like Resident Evil games I had on rotation also. I believe it was Zero and Code Veronica. And then I played some sports games. I had Madden on there and stuff. I always played a range of different types of games like FPS games and everything. But for some reason, this Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door came across me on GameCube. I played it as a filler. Now this was way back then before like anything was like, I mean, we all know how old GameCube is. And I played through it and I was like, what the hell is this? And in the coolest way possible. And trust me, this was an RPG element game, turn-based combat that eventually got me like a Pokemon type fix also, because I was kind of in a Pokemon hiatus. I wanted to play that also a lot, but on an actual console, so GameCube was that also. And man, I could not get enough of everything from progression, level ups, RPG, story mode. And it's so crazy because it comes across so simplistic paper that this is what started the generation, because there was the Paper Mario 64 and then there's a Thousand Year Door, and I believe, I forgot the one right after that. I believe the first three Paper Marios, in my opinion, were some of the greatest ones. And I believe, according to reviewers also, they kind of feel the same. It could be an OG essence, or it could be just the care that went into these games and all the creative freedom. But Thousand Year Door, by far, when I was playing this game back on GameCube, I was like, oh snap, this as well. And you're wondering like, why are you bringing up the OG version? Well, because that's what brought back me to actually play this on Switch. Man, and there's so much fun things. Of course, I'm not going to be spoiling none of the story if you haven't even played this game once. It's so cool to bring this game back into another generation, because this was way back when I was way younger. And playing it even as an older individual now, it still reminds me of everything. I'm not just talking about a nostalgia standpoint. I'm just talking about as an enjoyable. If this was just I played this game from scratch and I never played it on GameCube, I'd be like, man, this game is super fun, man. Paper Mario, I'm telling you, it gives you, now it starts off a little easy. It can take a little while for somebody, especially in today's aspects of, all types of content is really fast. Rather, you're just always watching shorts content and stuff. The story it takes a little while to get it rolling. You get your introduction and everything. But once you start really leveling up and the battles become way more, I guess, monumental to you, then it becomes great. The story can really get you going and get you into it and get you really invested after a while. And you really start, and now again, it is an RPG, so you are reading. And this was way back, for sure, before the voice acting was really on top of things now. But for this being this is a great example of less is more, and Paper Mario keeps it very simplistic a lot. But man, I had to say it was one of my favorite RPGs I played. Even if you had Zelda on there, and I even like this better than Mario RPG. Just because the Paper Mario series, to me, if you can go check everything, man. Everybody on YouTube went crazy when this game was re-announced on Switch. And I believe it's because the simplicity of it, the RPG notion, the story, and just everything you can do in terms of adventure and who you're meeting and what you're doing. It's so much to do. Again, trying to keep it as spoiler free as I can. But if you come across Paper Mario and you want to understand why it's so legendary, is that it still holds up to this day, in my opinion, with some of the best RPGs possibly in history. And it's because of what you do, how invested you get into this game, and just everything is fun. The turn-based combat is absolute genius. The music and just everything you do on how the growth really starts to occur in terms of specials and what you learn, your abilities you learn. Again, it's just a classic RPG that really lures you in, and it gets you into wanting to keep playing this game. And that's what a lot of gaming has been missing in later times. Again, not to go down a nostalgia route, but gaming does miss a lot of investment portions now, especially since live service is continuously pushing, which is not a bad thing, right? But it is difficult to find gems like this. And I accidentally stumbled upon Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door back in GameCube days. So, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people were on the same boat as me. Like they were just kind of like, oh, okay, I'll get this game. It's Mario, right? I mean, Mario has been dominating because Mario has dominated my whole life from from NES to OG Nintendo. Shout out to late 80s, 90s babies. And then you had Super Nintendo, then you had, 64, GameCube, and all handhelds, and 3DS, and Game Boy Advance. Like just everything that went through in that aspect and those capabilities. And so in GameCube, everything, that Mario was always dominating. And so if you see a Mario game, you probably were most likely going to try it. These days, probably still, I wouldn't say as much depending on what age you are, but back then he was everywhere without any internet, social media, none of that was even hot at that point. So when we saw Mario on the cases, on the shelves, we took it immediately, man. I begged my mom so much to just give me money to buy this game, and it never let me down. It was so weird. A game that was a filler ended up being my favorite game, and that is Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. And I could never forget about it. And I know everybody can have a story on this if you did play this on GameCube in terms of a personal connection to this game. It's very, very, it's vibrant. The aesthetics are so fun. All the adventure you go through and the puzzles you have to get through. Again, an RPG at its finest, but also it's very uplifting. It's very inspiring. The dialogue is hilarious. Again, if you want to actually read the dialogues, because you do have to do a lot of reading, but it is fun. You do hear like sound effects and everybody on there talking. And, again, a very lighthearted game that can help people just bring you into their realm. I feel that this Mario game does a very good job at bringing you into his realm, right? Without any spoilers, again, just Mario's already famous in this game. So like they all kind of know him as this famous guy, like saving Peach and stuff. That's all I'll say. And it's just cool to see the story and how everybody knows and correlates with him and the connectivity with him and just what they do and how they, like, how you recruit people, right? When you always recruit people, especially in RPG type games or even in story mode games, right? Just linear story mode games. When you find a connection to a character, they get their character development, you're able to level them up, and some of them go off on their own and then some of them continuously stay with you. So that is also cool how he builds his crew and builds everyone with him and builds the skill sets. And there's just way too much to do pre-internet era. That's what this game was created when it comes to like the maximized amount of online gameplay. And you have to just really give it a huge nod to be like, damn, Paper Mario is incredible, and they deserve every success on this remaster, or just remaster or port, whatever you want to call it. I believe it's a remaster because there is added stuff in here and much more things to look forward to and look out for. So make sure you're doing that. But yeah, I hope they continuously bring games like this back, and add things, especially if it's a different portion and way different generations, right? Not like Last of Us where it's just like back to back, which is not bad, but still, how long Paper Mario, that gap between GameCube and Nintendo Switch right now, has been so cool to bring us a refresher of what an RPG was and how they really made a huge staple and why people just love this series. I think they got like 6 installments or something like that. Y'all gotta remind me of that. But Paper Mario, if you're coming across it, you see it on Switch, it is well worth it if you do have the initial money to drop. It is a well worth investment. It's a fun game. You can take it on the go with you, just like anywhere. You don't even have to be like, don't even worry about the dock aspect, whatever. Just take it with you. Get really zoned in on the game. Learn all about it, and it's so fun, man. You'll understand why that GameCube was dominating with this game for sure. And it just came out of nowhere in terms of a Mario staple. Because when you think Mario, we thought Mario Kart, Mario Party, Super Mario Sunshine, just every Mario adventure. Even Super Mario 64 to this day is popping on Twitch. But Paper Mario came out the woodworks, and we were just like, what? This is crazy, especially on 64. And then on GameCube, it took it to like a vastly higher level, man. But yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Paper Mario. I just love it. It's a lighthearted game, man. And what a legacy it's had. Peace.